Imagine a city paralysed, not by war, not by natural disaster, but by its own sewage. In 1858, London faced a crisis so grim, it threatened to wipe out its very existence. The summer heatwave turned the River Thames into a bubbling, rotting sewer, a stench so unbearable it earned a chilling name, the Great Stink. Join us as we uncover 10 shocking truths about the Great Stink that changed London forever. 1. The River Thames, from lifeline to deadly sewer. During the 19th century, London's population skyrocketed from just over 1 million in 1800 to more than 2.5 million by the 1850s. The city was expanding rapidly, but its infrastructure struggled to keep pace. The Thames, which had long been a source of wealth and transportation, was also becoming a sewer of death. The river was used as an open sewer. Every household, business and factory dumped waste directly into its waters. Chamber pots, human waste, decomposing animals, industrial chemicals, including animal parts from slaughterhouses, washed into the river daily. Without proper sanitation, the Thames became a festering cesspool. 2. Human waste and the cesspits. Before the widespread development of sewer systems, Londoners relied on cesspits, large holes in the ground that stored human waste. Wealthier households often had private cesspits, while poorer neighbourhoods shared communal ones. When full, they were emptied by night soil men, who scooped out the waste at night and sold it as fertiliser. However, as the city's population grew, cesspits filled rapidly. Many were poorly constructed or overflowed, especially in overcrowded districts like Whitechapel and Bethnal Green, where basements filled with human waste and backyards overflowed. This created a breeding ground for diseases like cholera, typhoid and dysentery. 3. The myth of the natural drainage system. In 1815, the government mandated that new buildings connect their cesspits to London's natural drainage system, the Thames and its tributaries. The idea was that water would carry away the sewage, but the Thames was a shallow, sluggish river. Its course was wide and slow, especially during dry seasons. Sewage accumulated, creating thick banks of filth that persisted for years. This system was fundamentally flawed. Sewage sat stagnant in the riverbanks, emitting a putrid stench that grew worse during the summer. By 1858, the Thames was approximately 20% raw sewage, a staggering and nauseating statistic. The smell was so toxic that it was called the Great Stink. 4. The summer of 1858, the tipping point. The summer of 1858 was unusually hot, with temperatures reaching a record 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat intensified the smell, causing widespread discomfort and sickness among Londoners. Parliament was in session during this oppressive heat, and the stench seeped into the halls of power. Politicians, civil servants and residents all complained about the unbearable smell. The House of Commons, situated near the river, was overwhelmed by the foul odour. To protect themselves, MPs hung sheets soaked in chloride of lime, an air freshener of the time, at their windows, but it did little to mask the stench. 5. The political response and the birth of modern sewage management. The crisis prompted urgent political action. Benjamin Disraeli, then Chancellor of the Exchequer, proposed a bill to clean up the Thames. Within just 18 days, Parliament passed the legislation. The project was overseen by Joseph Bazalgette, a pioneering civil engineer. Bazalgette's solution was revolutionary, a comprehensive sewer system designed to carry sewage away from London and dump it safely into the sea, far from the city's drinking water sources. Massive sewer tunnels were built, including the famous Crossness and Abbey Mills pumping stations, which pumped the waste miles out into the North Sea. 6. The tragedy of the Princess Alice, a catastrophic disaster. Despite the monumental efforts to clean London's waterways, disaster struck in 1878. On September 3rd, the paddle steamer Princess Alice set sail from central London with over 700 passengers, mostly families enjoying a trip down the Thames. As the boat navigated a bend near the river, it collided with the Brecknock Castle. The Princess Alice sank within minutes, and over 650 lives were lost, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in Britain's history. 7. The aftermath. Public outcry and policy changes. The sinking of the Princess Alice shocked the nation. The public demanded action to stop dumping raw sewage into the Thames. The disaster exposed the dangers of London's outdated sewage practices and led to a re-evaluation of waste management. By 1888, the practice of dumping sewage at sea was formalised, with barges carrying waste far into the North Sea, an operation that continued until 1998. 8. The legacy of Joseph Bazalgette, engineering marvel. Bazalgette's sewer system was a game changer. He designed a network of intercepting sewers that collected waste from neighbourhoods and transported it away from the city. The iconic Victorian-era embankments along the Thames, including the Albert and Victoria embankments, were built to house these sewers and improve flood defences. Today, Bazalgette's system still functions. More than 160 years later, it remains the backbone of London's sanitation. Modern upgrades are underway to accommodate the city's growing population, projected to reach 10 million by 2030. 9. The hidden cost of progress. While London's waterways and health improved dramatically thanks to Bazalgette's work, the cost was high. The entire city was built on a foundation of filth, disease, and death. The 1858 crisis revealed the extent of human suffering caused by neglect and inadequate infrastructure. The Great Stink was a stark reminder that urban progress cannot come at the expense of public health. It exposed the dark underbelly of Victorian innovation, a city striving for growth while ignoring the consequences of its waste. 10. Lessons from the Great Stink. Today, the story of the Great Stink serves as a warning. Modern cities around the world still grapple with pollution, inadequate waste management, and environmental crises. Climate change, rising sea levels, and pollution threaten to undo centuries of progress. The Great Stink reminds us that safeguarding our waterways and environment must be a priority. It underscores the importance of sustainable infrastructure, public health, and responsible urban planning. Because neglecting these issues can lead to disaster, just as it did in Victorian London. The Great Stink of 1858 was more than just foul smells and uncomfortable summers. It was a pivotal moment that reshaped urban sanitation and public health. Behind the stench was a series of dark truths, failures, neglect, and the consequences of ignoring the environment. But through engineering innovation and political will, London's worst crisis was turned into a blueprint for modern sewage management. As we look back, let us remember, progress must be rooted in responsibility. The lessons of the Great Stink remind us that neglecting our environment can have devastating consequences. Only by caring for our rivers and waterways can we safeguard our future from the foul disasters of the past.